Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Language Arts Gallery. If it's your first time watching the channel, please remember to click like, subscribe, and comment on the video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the process essay, or the how-to essay, as it's also known. So the process essay is commonly taught in primary school. It's taught in first grade, second grade, third grade, but we often don't see it as part of the middle school and high school writing curriculum. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a place there. Actually, the process essay is an important part of the secondary writing curriculum. However, there are some differences between how it's taught in primary school and how it's going to be taught in middle school and in high school. So one of the biggest differences that you're going to see is that in secondary school, a process essay needs to follow the 5-paragraph essay approach. That's an introduction, a body with 3 paragraphs, and a conclusion. Each of those body paragraphs should represent one step in the process. Now, there are some things that make it different. So one of the things that makes the introduction so different is that it conforms to the rhetorical features of a 5-paragraph essay. The most important part of this is the thesis statement. This is not something that's commonly taught to young writers. And that's an important part of academic writing, because academic writing is based on argument. We want to teach our students that their argument, if the audience wants to be successful at this process, they need to follow the steps as they're described in the essay. So that's a good thesis statement, a strong argument for a process essay. Let's take a look right now at a model essay, and we'll see how this works. Here we have a model essay where the author is describing how to study for exams. And we can see the author's thesis is, in order to succeed on exams, it's necessary to follow the steps below. We can see the author also has an engaging opening sentence. Academic success is the pathway to a bright future. So that's another rhetorical feature of the 5-paragraph essay, or of the academic essay, that this student is adhering to. He's engaging the reader with a good first sentence. Another thing that we want to do is we want to have a roadmap. We want to lay out what exactly we're going to tell our reader. And we can see here, taking good notes, studying in the right environment, and preparing well in advance of an exam are all key to achieving a great exam score. So there the author lays out the roadmap, or what they're going to tell their reader. Each one of those steps has its own body paragraph. And I can see that right here. And this is something that I tell my students whenever I teach this. This right here, your roadmap, each of these 3 things is going to be pulled down to its correct body paragraph. And they represent the topic sentences for each one of those body paragraphs. Now, after the students have written the topic sentence and they've indicated what the main idea of each paragraph is, they're going to add more details. So if I go up here, we're talking here about taking thorough and detailed notes. So the author gives some details about how to do that. Begin with a clean, unused notebook for each subject. And they tell why. This helps keep all notes well organized by subject. When the teacher's speaking, take thorough and detailed notes. After the lesson, it's important to go back and rewrite the notes immediately. So not just rewrite the notes, but do it immediately. They're telling us when we need to do it. This ensures that the notes are detailed, thorough, and easy to read. So we've got all of those rhetorical features of a 5-paragraph essay in our process essay. We've got a great thesis statement, we've got a roadmap, we've got a hook, and we've got topic sentences with supporting details. As we go now to the conclusion, we can see that the author indicates the end of the essay. They're signposting by saying in closing. They're also restating the thesis statement. In order to be successful on exams, it's necessary to follow the steps outlined above. They're also summarizing the main points, taking good notes, finding a great place to study, and studying well in advance for the exams. And finally, the author leaves us with a concluding thought. Following these steps can ensure academic success and a bright future. Another thing that we need to get students in upper grades to do is add as much detail as possible to their essay. This is something that I had a lot of fun with when I was teaching younger kids. When I used to teach the process essay, I used to bring in peanut butter and jelly and bread. And when I have my students explain to me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and of course, my students would always say, the peanut butter on the bread. So I would take the loaf of bread and I'd take the jar of peanut butter and I'd put it right on top and I'd say, am I done? Is this okay? And they'd say, no, no, no. They say, you have to go back and you have to open up the bread. You have to take out 2 slices of bread. Then you have to put peanut butter on the bread. So then I would open the jar of peanut butter and I'd try to dump it on the bread. And they say, no, no, you have to use a knife. So I would get them to walk through all of these things with me. That may not be age appropriate for high school students. I certainly don't think it's age appropriate for university students. We can get them to ask good questions. One thing I tell my students is, remember, your audience doesn't know what you know. Imagine your audience is entirely ignorant of how to complete this process. So ask questions like, how many? What kind? For how long? Until when? So I provide a lot of great graphic organizers to assist with this in the complete process essay, which is available in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. And you can also have access to all of these PowerPoint lessons here that walk you through exactly what the 5-paragraph essay is, how the process essay conforms to the 5-paragraph essay. And another thing that my students often find, particularly at the upper grade levels, is they're explaining a process that has more than 3 steps. Now we say, well, what do? We simply add another body paragraph. I think that's a great tool for older students, a great teaching tool, because it gets them to realize that the 5-paragraph essay is a great foundation for academic writing, but it's not something that's set in stone. There is some flexibility to it. So getting them to see that they can adjust that essay based on the needs of their audience and what they need to tell their audience, I think that goes a long way in teaching them to become better writers as they prepare for the college level. So thank you so much for coming to my tutorial on the 5-paragraph process essay. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you did, please click like, subscribe, and comment on the video. And I will see you in my next video tutorial.